My best friend showed up at my door crying and said, "I need to tell you something about Grayson, about why he really broke up with you. But you have to promise not to hate me when I'm done." I stared at her and almost started crying on the spot. Me and Grayson had been together for 6 years before he broke up with me 2 months ago. No explanation, not even face to face. Just, "I can't do this anymore," text on my birthday. Then 2 days later, he was with Brianna, my best friend since 6th grade, the girl standing in front of me. I'd spent the last 2 months destroying myself, crying until I couldn't breathe, replaying every moment trying to figure out what I did wrong. Now Brianna was standing on my porch, mascara running, shaking like she hadn't slept in days. "Why are you here?" She opened her mouth. "Because I can't keep lying to you." She wiped her face with her sleeve, smeared everything worse. "Not after what the doctor said yesterday." I leaned against the doorframe. "Doctors? What are you talking about? Can I come in?" She looked over her shoulder like someone might be watching. "Please, I need to explain everything." She sat on my couch, hands clasped between her knees, couldn't look at me. Grayson was planning something. For months. He bought a ring in October. I felt my stomach drop. A ring? He was going to propose. On your birthday. I shook my head. "That doesn't make any sense. He dumped me. He's with you now. He's not with me." She finally looked up. Her eyes were swollen, raw. "He was never with me. It was fake. All of it." I stood up, walked to the window. "Why would you fake being together? Why would either of you do that to me?" "Because he asked me to." I spun around. "Why?" She reached into her pocket, pulled out her phone and handed it to me. Photos of Grayson. But not the Grayson I knew. This Grayson was thin, gaunt, sitting in a hospital bed with tubes snaking into his arm, head shaved. He found out 2 days before he was going to propose. Her voice cracked. "Stage 4. The doctors gave him a few months." The phone slipped. I caught it, stared at his face. "He didn't want you to watch him die." Brianna was crying again. "He said he'd already taken 6 years of your life. He couldn't take another second. So he became someone you hated. So you'd move on, instead of just sitting in a hospital room crying because he's dying." I sank onto the couch, still holding the phone, still staring at the photo. The guy I'd been cursing for 2 months. He was dying. "He made me promise not to tell you." Brianna wiped her nose. "But the doctor said yesterday that he's getting worse, faster than they thought." She grabbed my hand. "I couldn't let him die without you knowing the truth. I couldn't." I grabbed my keys off the counter. Brianna yelled out, "Room 412. He's probably asleep. The chemo takes everything out of him." I was already out the door. I drove 20 minutes in 10, parked crooked across 2 spaces and didn't care. Sprinted through the lobby. Room 412. I stopped outside the door, hand on the frame, breathing hard. Then I pushed it open, and there he was, 50 pounds lighter than the last time I saw him. Dark circles carved under his eyes, skin so pale it was almost gray, but still the Grayson I fell in love with. He opened his eyes, saw me standing in the doorway, his face crumpled. "You know," I walked over, slowly, took his hand. It felt like paper, thin and fragile. "You're an idiot." He tried to laugh. It turned into a cough that shook his whole body. "I didn't want you to have to what?" I squeezed his hand. "Love you? To watch me die." He turned his head away. "I wanted you to remember me the way I was, not like this." "Grayson, look at me." Tears were streaming down his temples into the pillow. Nobody said anything. We just sat there, quiet. Then he reached under his pillow, his arm shaking from the effort, pulled out a small box. "I've had this for 2 months. Kept it here the whole time." He opened it. A ring. Beautiful. Exactly what I would have chosen. "I was going to do this on your birthday, before everything fell apart." "Grayson, I know this isn't how it was supposed to go. I know I have nothing to offer you except hospital visits and bad days and maybe a few more months if I'm lucky." He held the box out, hand trembling. "But I love you. And if you still want me, yes." He blinked. I haven't finished asking. "I don't care." I was crying now too. "Yes. 1,000 times yes." He slid the ring onto my finger. Right there in the hospital room. Machines beeping. The smell of antiseptic. The most unromantic place in the world. And I'd never been happier. "You know this is crazy," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Marrying someone who might not make it to the wedding. Then we'll do it tomorrow." I climbed onto the bed next to him. He wrapped his arm around me, held on like he'd been waiting 2 months to do exactly this. We got married 24 hours later. Hospital chapel. He mustered all the strength he had to walk down the aisle alone. The doctors gave him a few months. He gave me 11. He died on a Tuesday in April, holding my hand, wearing his ring.